Good afternoon, PIC TV. We are here, the Friends of Carter Barron Foundation for the Performing Arts, with all of our affiliates, executive members, honorable liaisons, and honorary advisors. And we're here at our meeting place that we normally meet in the executive suite of the Camden Roosevelt Apartments. And we love it because it still reflects the historic nature of the National Park Service of our city, Washington, D.C. So we just like to invite you in so that we can share with you the untold story of the Friends of Carter Barron Foundation for the Performing Arts with these wonderful four people that's surrounding me here. So God bless you and tune in to the untold story of the Friends of Carter Barron Foundation of the Performing Arts. Thank you.
Beautiful.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Blessed be today in this particular video presentation to give us the words, the meditation, the articulation, the compassion, and the professionalism so that we can educate the world about the truth of the Friends of Carter Barron Foundation for the Performing Arts. I know, Lord, you would not allow anything to interrupt, intercede, interfere based on ethnic, based on social economics, but based on what you have granted, which is the ability for this organization to rightfully manage the Carter Barron Amphitheater. In Jesus' name, I give you the praise, the glory, the honor. No weapon, God, will come before this organization in your name. Hallelujah.
Amen. Amen. Hello, this is Dr. Willie Jolly, host of the Willie Jolly Show on Sirius XM, and Wake Up and Win with Dr. Willie Jolly, syndicated across America on Radio 1 stations. I'm here to say I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. I didn't seek it, I didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I want to use this minute wisely with exponential impact because I'm here to celebrate the Carter Barron Amphitheater and my dear friend, Gloria Hightower. Miss Gloria Hightower is an icon in our community and around the country. She was a great singer. We met as singers back before I became a speaker. She was a singer extraordinaire. And everybody knew her because she was performing all over, and we saw her on the Carter Barron stage. And years ago, I was able to also perform on that Carter Barron stage. And then Gloria made the decision to become a CEO, and she has been phenomenal. And she has been the director and CEO of the Friends of Carter Barron Foundation and organization. And I'm honored that I was one of the advisory members of her board. And so today we come to celebrate and to encourage people about the possibilities for the future for Carter Barron Amphitheater. And why are we here? Because Carter Barron is an amphitheater unlike any in America that is an outdoor experience. It's had some of the greatest performers in the world on those stages. Earth, Wind and Fire, Patti LaBelle, James Brown. You can go on and on and on. And Gloria Hightower has taken up the mantle to make sure that this amphitheater does not die, but it lives and prospers. So I'm honored today as a friend of Carter Barron and a friend of Gloria Hightower to say, get ready for a program today that will inspire you, empower you, encourage you, inform you, and help you to see why you should support Gloria Hightower and the Friends of Carter Barron.
Good morning. I'm Carlton Morrison, lifelong resident of Ward 4 and newly elected board member to the Friends of Carter Barron Foundation for Performing Arts.
Good morning. My name is Irvin Pendergrass. I'm the first ever concert promoter for the Friends of Carter Barron. Born and raised Ward 5 and the owner of Turkey Entertainment, internationally known promotions. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marjorie Goldberg. I'm a longtime resident of Ward 4 and been in DC for most of my life. I own the Zenith Art Gallery, longest serving gallery in DC for 48 years. I also founded the Zenith Community Arts Foundation, and I'm a wood sculptor and furniture designer, and I'm an advisory member of the board proudly and have been going to Carter Barron since the early 70s. And I was at that Patti LaBelle concert.
Hey, I'm Troy Dante Presswood, and I'm a native Washingtonian. I live in Ward 8, but I lived all over Washington, D.C. I'm also a former youth performer at the Carter Barron, working very closely with Gloria Hightower and Friends of Carter Barron. In addition to that, I'm a civic leader and a media commentator. And as far as with the Friends of Carter Barron, I am the interim secretary.
Good morning, everyone. I'm James Butler. I am a Ward 5 resident. I am a part-time law professor, a media and political strategist and commentator. I am an executive board member of the Friends, as well as its chief compliance officer.
Well, welcome back. The Untold story continues. I am yours truly, Gloria J. Hightower, in appreciation of PIC TV. But more importantly, today is so special, as Dr. Willie Jolly said, because it's a day when the truth unfolds and you know exactly what, when, why, where the Friends of Carter Barron Foundation manifested. And as the founding member who became the president, second ever, in 1991, I am still around from 1988. So, as a native Ward 2 resident who opened up in 1988 for the Whispers, we are here. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Jack.
Good afternoon. My name is Jack Evans, and I'm a proud Ward 2 resident for almost 35 years now, and an honorary liaison to the Friends of Carter Barron. I served on the District of Columbia Council of the District of Columbia, for 30 years, the longest serving member of the council in the history of the. And in addition to that, I had a number of other opportunities. I served as an ANC commissioner in DuPont Circle, as the national committee man for the district to the Democratic National Committee, and as the chairman of the board of Metro, our bus and subway system, for 5 years. So it's been a very exciting opportunity for me, but mostly working with Gloria Hightower. Gloria and I first met back in 1991, and for 35 years now, have worked on the Friends of Carter Barron, and there would be no one better to lead the effort to bring the Friends back and the Carter Barron back. So thank you very much, and look forward to working with everyone.
I'm Robert Bob King. I'm an advisor of the Friends of Carter Barron under the amazing leadership of Gloria J. Hightower, founding member, president, and CEO. In addition to that, I'm considered as one of the longest serving ANC commissioners in the city, if not the longest, 30 years representing Fort Lincoln, 10 years as the Civic Association president, for a total of 40 years of deep and love and commitment for Fort Lincoln, which has the largest population of seniors living anywhere in the city. In addition to that, my claim to fame is that I've worked as an executive for every mayor, starting with Walter Washington and ending my government career with Fenty as an executive member of the mayor's staff, serving as their eyes and ears for the elders of the village. And I just want everybody to know in this whole world the untold story about Gloria J. Hightower. 37-year journey, pain, blood, sweat, and tears. She needs to go down in the book along with Harriet Tubman. I salute you today, and I'm a proud member of the board, and we're going to get it done.
Hello, my name is Davey Yarborough. I'm a native Washingtonian and lifelong resident. I also a resident of Ward 4 for 70 years. I am retired founder of the Jazz Studies program at Duke Ellington School of the Arts and current co-founder with Esther Williams of the Washington Jazz Arts Institute for the past 28 years. The Carter Barron actually educated me on the world of music because of all of the folks that they had and all the types of entertainment that they portrayed. And I have been going to the Carter Barron since I could walk. And it I have performed there many times. I actually got my union card performing with opening for Earth, Wind and Fire and Rare Earth, which after that the group we were playing with toured with them, finished the tour with them. So the Carter Barron has provided educational activities as well as entertainment activities for our youth, for the entire city, and should be definitely resurrected and taken to the next level.
It's a great day, and I'm grateful to be here. I'm Dr. Willie Jolly, or actually now I can tell everybody I'm Reverend Dr. Willie Jolly. Recently ordained, but I'm here as the author of the book, A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback, and the book turns setbacks into greenbacks and an attitude of excellence and make love, make money, make it last. But I'm also the host of the Willie Jolly Show on Sirius XM, which is now the #1 self-help show in America, as well as I'm heard daily on Radio 1 stations across America with Wake Up and Win with Dr. Willie Jolly. And I've been a lifetime honorary advisory member of the Friends of Carter Barron. I am a long time, decades-long friend of Gloria Hightower. She's not just a great executive, but she's one of the great singers that came out of Washington, D.C. Incredible. But we're here to support her and to let everybody know that the Friends of Carter Barron is alive and well, and we're going to help bring back this incredible venue for many future generations to enjoy. Dr. Willie Jolly. And remember, your best is yet to come.
I'm Alexander Padro. I'm a 24-year advisory neighborhood commissioner representing the Shaw neighborhood. I'm also executive director of Shaw Main Streets, the commercial revitalization organization that serves the neighborhood. And as a historic preservationist and a historian, I have been involved in supporting the Friends of Carter Barron for about 20 years now. Doing a lot of research about the Carter Barron's history, and in particular the wide variety of entertainers that grace the stage at the Carter Barron. So after the first 2 seasons of Faith of Our Fathers, Carter Barron hosted musicals like Annie Get Your Gun, Carousel, and Showboat, followed by The Mikado. Even the Ice Capades were presented at Carter Barron. Louis Armstrong was one of the major, was actually the first black entertainer to perform at the Carter Barron. That was in 1959. And in addition to Louis Armstrong in the 1960s, Harry Belafonte, Victor Borgia, Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald, Benny Goodman, the Kingston Trio, Henry Mancini, Ethel Merman, Peter, Paul and Mary, the Temptations, and Andy Williams were some of the performers that graced the stage. In the 1970s, audiences enjoyed performances by Frankie Beverly, Chuck Brown, James Brown, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, the Four Tops, Dizzy Gillespie, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Isaac Hayes, Al Jarreau, B.B. King, Miriam Makeba, National Symphony Orchestra, the O.J., Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Diana Ross, Santana, Stanley Turrentine, War, Barry White, Nancy Wilson, and Stevie Wonder. Kool and the Gang, Bruce Springsteen, the United States Navy Band, the National Symphony Orchestra, Shakespeare Festival, Richard Pryor, Chick Corea, and the DC Black Repertory. were also in the 1970s.
First, let me say that Carter Barron was the only outdoor venue in the United States that was integrated in 1950. On August 4th, 1950, Paul Green had a production that featured a lot of black performers, and on stage with them was President Truman. That particular event did not go well, but what was to follow was amazing. What followed that was Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Satchmo Armstrong, sold out. While Carter Barron was integrated because it was not subject to DC segregated laws. 16th Street had 50 churches, and the churches were called Church Row or Church to Heaven. All of the churches on 16th Street, all 50 of them, was segregated. The churches were segregated. Not only were the churches segregated, as Gloria Hightower, CEO, said, you could not rent an apartment if you were Jew, Jewish, or black. We weren't black then. In 1950, we were Negroes. In 1960, we were color. And they use it interchangeable in terms of what government official was addressing black folks in the city. In 1960, we became black, and in the 80s, become Afro-Americans. While Carter Barron was integrated, in 1954, a great freedom fighter, Thurgood Marshall, Brown versus the Board of Education, integrated the schools. The schools were not integrated until 1954, even though Carter Barron was integrated in 1950. Not only were the schools integrated in 1954, but you couldn't go to none of the theaters up on 14th Street. No theater up in 14th. All the black churches were around U Street. And that was a de facto racial division that kept the black folks separated from the white folks up on 16th Street. Because when I was 18 years old, I had a draft card, and we were confined to East 11th Street, not West of 16th Street. And I was a member of Church of Christ, and I didn't even know they had a white Church of Christ on 16th Street, but I was a member of the black church. So in the midst of all of that, Carter Barron, we was in there with what is now still institutional racism as we speak today. Institutional racism is what we are confronted with today. And I can't help, every time I get an opportunity, I got to talk about Gloria J. Hightower. She was abused, kept from having a seat at the table. She's a black woman. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness, and Gloria Hightower spent 38 crying in the wilderness just to have a seat at the table. And not only is it the Carter Barron that we're dealing with, the Howard Theater now, the Lincoln Theater, all of them are controlled by folks who have no idea about the history of this city. And that's why this story's got to be, so this is an untold story. I don't want nobody to forget it around the world. It's the untold story of Gloria J. Hightower. And don't y'all forget that. When I was up at Rhett, she's called up, and she did me all the calls, because she wouldn't take no for an answer. Her and Kimmy Gray. And I admire her spirit. Sometimes they have difficulties sometimes with Gloria, but don't get that confused about her energy, her spirit, compassion, and what she's done from being a singer. All the singers who are still above the ground, they came and performed and left. Gloria decided to take it to the next level. And that's why we're all sitting around this table today.
Thank you.
And don't you ever forget that while that theater was integrated on August the 5th, 1950, and I have to give credit to Carter Barron himself. He was a football player. He attended Georgia Tech and had an injury, knee injury that kept him out of the sport. So he came to town and he got hooked up with President Roosevelt and President Truman. Unfortunately, he died 1 year after Carter Barron opened up. At the age of 45 years old, he died from cancer. As I said earlier, his dream and vision was to have a place, a venue for all races, color, and creed. But I can never forget that we could go to Carter Barron, but I could not rent an apartment Forget that I could not go to Woolworth Theater, and I could not go to schools. And when that great freedom fighter integrated Bell versus Board of Education, I had an opportunity to go to Bell, one of 12 students that integrated that school. And we had to go down to the Booker T to Alamo. And I lived at 1433 Clement Road. I'm probably the only person that's still above ground that has on his birth certificate 1350 Clifton Street. My father was one of 6 janitors and couldn't move upstairs. So we black, Jew, we weren't black then, we were colored.
Hey, buddy, this is a special question that a lot of people don't know. Well, we're going to find out today. What was the reading on the gates back in the day, back in history, on the gates of Carter Barron? Can you answer that?
Yes, when I got privilege from the first ever Black Regional Director, Mr. Robert Stanton, who this man, Council Member Jack Evans, introduced me to go to be privileged to go into the archives of Interior, the gate said, ladies and gentlemen, beyond a doubt, in the name of the Lord thou God, no Negroes or Jews allowed. And that's a constitutional fact. I know what my eyes seen. And it was so astonishing because when you think about entertainment, how can somebody think like that? But you couldn't even own a house from U Street going up. I don't care where you live. And the and I believe in my heart that the purpose of Mr. Carter Barron Tate was to have a collaboration of people who understood that music remains a universal language. So it has no discrimination. It has no aliens. It has no isolations. So even today, the saving grace of the Carter Barron was Kathy Hughes, lady of Radio One then, and Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser. Regretfully, you could see that segregation in the 1950s was alive and afloat. Carter Barron always offered a major headline artist and great opening acts. And experiences that I've had from Roy Ayers, from George Duke, from Miriam Makeba, from Olita Adams, opening up for them only helped me as a professional artist just embellish my presentation live on stage for the 4,200 seats of patrons. And to do 3 concerts today up at Carter Barron is nothing, because the musical was a 20-day run. That was Shakespeare Free for All that the Michael Kahn and Al Dale, along with our council member here, former council member, collaborated on. But then you have the end of June all the way to the second week of September for Fridays and Saturdays, with the exception of the 4th of July. And when the tennis tournament happened, we don't do any activities. We had the blues festival. Now, but I want a man to talk about today. What kind of concerts would our concert manager, Mr. Erwin Pendergrass, who is the owner of Tricky Entertainment, whereby his show seats 5,000 people or more, and I'm getting ready to go to the Bahamas with him for the 2nd year, where his shows are 10,000 more. Now, if you want to do it right up at the Carter Barron, you got to have the expertise of a Kathy Hughes, of a Al Dale, of a Gloria Hightower, of a David Yarborough, of a Marjorie Goldberg. You've got to be able to attract America. It's not a black thing. It's a universal thing up at the Carter Barron, because I remember doing something, being called up on stage with Jennifer Holliday when she was singing with the National Symphony Orchestra. So I'm going to ask Mr.
our concert manager, Mr. Erwin Pendergrass, to share with the public what kind of shows will we be bringing to the Carter Barron Amphitheater, who is just as equivalent as the Kennedy Center. Miss Kennedy Center salutes the memorial of President John F. Kennedy, who was regretfully assassinated. But the Carter Barron salutes the founding fathers of America, and none of them was black. But when it comes down to music, it doesn't have any color. It has no color. So, Mr. Edwin Pendergrass, would you highlight the kind of shows that we would be doing under your leadership as the concert manager, the first ever concert manager that this organization has ever recruited?
How you doing, man? My name's Erwin Pendergrass. Come with like 28 years of experience in concerts and doing promotions, man. I definitely like to thank Gloria for letting me be a part of the Friends of Carter Barron. Yeah, but I'm looking at the chops to bring so many different genres of music and entertainment, not just music. Even though the Carter Barron and my history of dealing with them was always of African American music, whether it was R&B, hip hop, go-go. But I'm also looking at the chops to bring the Latino community up. You know, same day I've been to a couple shows, haven't had time to promote a Latino show, but the energy is incredible, right? We got all kinds of music. I talk to Gloria all the time about, we're going to bring some theater there. We're not just going to stop it with just, we're not going to be in the box with entertainment. We plan to use that place for a lot of different things and a lot of different people from all cultures, and I'm excited about that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. To piggyback with our concert manager, the first ever, it was important to get a man of his caliber that knows different genres, knows how to market and advertise um, and recruit all types of artists. It's just, when you look up in the skies of the Carter Barron Amphitheater and seeing those stars just over your head in that scenic, beautiful environment, and having the kind of representation of a phenomenal promoter of concerts and theater operations and festival operations like Mr. Erwin Pendergrass, Mrs. Marjorie Goldberg, my honorable advisor. The difference is just complexion, but we truly got a lot in common. So let's now talk about Lady Marjorie, what you also would like to add on to what Mr. Irwin has stated.
I would like to see also dance and comedy and things that bring in the younger generation, that maybe music that this group doesn't know all that well, but also, you know, every kind of performance we can. I mean, I've seen Shakespeare there for years. I've seen all sorts of people at Carter Barron, but there's always need for more venues in this town, and Carter Barron should be opened, and it'd be great to have concerts all the time there.
What a great event today. We brought everybody together, and let's start thanking Gloria Hightower, whose energy brought us all together to talk about the future of Carter Barron. And I learned a lot today, and I'm sure everybody did. Everybody knows something, but there was so much knowledge put out here discussing the past, the present, and the future. And the Friends, Gloria started this organization back in 1988, 89, 91, and has carried it through with all of us, making sure that no one forgets about Carter Barron and putting forth a plan to get it back online again. I think it's critically important that Janice, our new mayor coming up, have this on her list when she meets with President Trump and puts it forward that this is something that is very important to the city, very important to the federal government, very important to the National Park Service, and gets it front and center and his energy behind it. That will be the kickoff.
And when that happens, and Gloria and the friends then manage the development of this project, we can get this done, and all of us will have contributed mightily to the future of the District of Columbia, particularly in the arts, which I talked about earlier. How important the arts are to a civilization, to our children.
Yes.
And that's the key for us going forward in the future. So it's been a great day today. We really, really have a great program going forward.
Mr. Butler, you represent the city and helping out on city become a better place. And it's the event today with Gloria Hightower and the friends, Carter Barron. Tell us, what did you get out of this, and we hope our audience get from it?
Well, first of all, I'm glad to be here again. If I hadn't said before, Madam CEO and President, I am extremely indebted and grateful to you for entrusting me with the compliance issues of the Friends. Sometimes it's difficult navigating some of the regulatory compliance and often political waters that an organization like this would encounter, but I'm grateful to you. And it hasn't always been easy for you. We all know that we've talked about some of the things of the past. I don't want to relitigate the past, but I also think you can't really explain to folks what you're going to do in the future without some maybe wrinkles or impediments or speed bumps of the past. We've had some. Those have been in recent years. And unfortunately, it's been with the present leadership of the Rock Creek Park. And we would like those to be smoothed out, to formulate a common goal of reopening the amphitheater. If that's the common goal, organizations should be able to work together, not organizations being given preferential treatment. And what we do know is one organization in particular has, but we feel, been given preferential treatment. That is Rock Creek Conservancy. Ironically, the immediate past superintendent now serves as a board member of the Conservancy. Well, they're now in it. We've been locked out of it. So now you're taking an organization with 4 decades of commitment to the park and you're closing them out of it. You're taking one performer that's performed in the park, the only performer that's stuck around to promote the park, still today. You've locked her up. At the same time, this organization that's only been around since 2017 is not DC based, it's in an entire another state, Maryland. They're allowed to do concerts, and we aren't right now. That's a problem. And sometimes I just like to do a little bit of plain speak to let people know the real inequities of what's happening here. But I, like my colleague, Mr. Evans, Councilman Evans, I'm an eternal optimist. I believe that with the new mayor, with the new leadership in the city, with the coalition that the mayor has behind her in the city, with her reaching out to Doug Burgum and President Trump, we will prevail. We will reopen the Carter Barron Amphitheater. There is no question in my mind. So I will leave here today optimistic, happy, and with a smile on my face.
Thank you. Yeah. I'd like to say we have an upcoming event, and for the first time it's something that the Friends are going to do hopefully twice a year, and it's going to be on Capitol Hill with the incoming and outcoming Congress people, women and men. I am just so honored to know that we will be entertaining, educating House members, Senate, as well as is it libertarians on Capitol Hill, Tuesday, September the 15th. We are bringing a jazz festival that is unbelievable. I will not say the names because those entities are phenomenal. The way in which Carter Barron should be treated, which is why we had the Temptations with Dr. Otis Williams here, April 2023. You know, Carter Barron has to be treated with eloquence, with class, with education, with enrichment, oh my God, and entertainment that's truly, truly rememberable and so impactful. And this is the organization that's not capable but able. And I thank you, listeners of TV.
All right.
My name is Jack Evans. Hey, Dr. Willie Jolly.
King.
Marjorie Goldberg.
Davey Yarborough.
James Butler.
Erwin Pendergrass.
Thank you.